Hey guys! So I'm in the back room of my studio, as if you see. Woo! I'm in the process, I'm actually off today, but I had to come in and clean some of my piercing tools. So I figured, why do that? I'm gonna make a video. So I was talking to someone a few days ago, and we were talking about homelessness, which is something I'm very passionate about. And they pretty much said that most homeless people choose to be homeless. And I'm like, well, what? And they're like, yeah, anybody who's homeless just chooses to be homeless because they want to live off the grid and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, there are people that choose to live off the grid. There are people that choose to, you know, get rid of all technology and live off the land and all that stuff. But that's like 10% of the people that are homeless. I wouldn't even call them homeless because they choose to be homeless. So it's like, you're not really even homeless. I was homeless for a very short period of time. I was very lucky though in my homelessness. So basically, I was living in Westchester, Pennsylvania with my best friend and her boyfriend. And at the time, you know, you learn a lot about somebody when you move in with them, and we just were not getting along. So we were living together in an apartment, and my best friend's boyfriend, well, now husband, his mom is loaded, his parents are loaded, and they own a bunch of random houses. They would buy houses, flip them, and like, you know, that kind of stuff. That's how they make their money. So they had a few houses, and they had a house in this place called Kennett Square. And Kennett Square was like, is in the middle of nowhere. It's called the mushroom capital of like America, and it's like all farmlands. Like it's the middle of fucking nowhere. And they were like, you guys can live here, you know, rent free, blah, blah, blah. And I was not really down. I still wanted to stay in the apartment, even though our apartment was like $1,000 a month. With between 3 people, I still just rather stay in the apartment. But I followed their lead, and I was like, okay, fine, we'll move into this house. So it was this big house that was full of bugs, dirty as fucking hell. So I had my own little room. And I had my room, and I like tried to clean it up and all the fun stuff, and you know, I tried to make it clean as possible. Put literally, because it's covered, this place is covered in ants. Then I had an ant trap in like every corner, and then every side, if you will. So it's like ants possible, and ant traps like abundance. Anyway, so I lived in this house for a few months. And not even, I lived in this house for a month. So I literally moved out of the apartment, and within a month I moved into this, we're in this house. And I have a cat that has very long hair. So she tends to throw up. Now in this house, half of it is like just fucking storage of all their shit. Like fucking rugs and just nonsense in these fucking rooms. Like half the rooms we can't even like go into because they're just covered full of shit. Because this is where they put all this random shit. And we can't touch it because it's rich people stuff. You can't touch it. So anyway, I guess my cat puked on one of their rugs. So I come home one day at 6 o'clock at night after working all day to a letter pretty much calling me a piece of shit, telling me that, you know, your cat shit on our stuff and you don't respect any of our stuff and how dare you. And I'm like, never asked to live here. This woman did not like me from the get-go. To her eyes, me and my best friend are white trash because we come from a very poor area in New Jersey. I grew up in a fucking trailer park, you know, like my mom is not super educated, so apparently we're all just fucking white trash. So she didn't like me from the get-go, so I honestly thought this was her way of just trying to like get us all out anyway. So I got this letter that she gives me 2 weeks to get out. Well, me being the hothead that I am, I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna leave right fucking now. Not realizing that I have nowhere to go. I'm in Pennsylvania, my family and most of my friends are in New Jersey. So I get in my 1987 fucking car, pack all the shit I can, and I just start fucking driving. And I drive, and I drive, and I drive. And then I'm like, all right, I'm trying to figure out, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? There's nowhere, like, I don't have anybody to go. You know, I don't really have a lot of friends. I don't really have anywhere to go. So I decided to sleep in the Wawa parking lot for a while. Wawa is, if anyone doesn't know, is a convenience store in this area. It's really popular in, like, the East Coast. So I parked my car, me and my cat, and I sleep in my car for a few days. And I was lucky. I was homeless, but I had a job. I had a car, you know, so I was lucky. I was very, very lucky. So I sleep in my car for about a weekend. But then I'm like, okay, I need to get a shower, you know, and I did go into the bathroom a few days and try to like do the ghetto cleaning up, but it's not the same as taking a shower. So I called one of my friends, called someone I actually worked with at the time, so one of my coworkers, and I ran one store and she ran a different store. And I was like, hey, can I use your shower? And she was like, what, why? And I told her what happened. I was like, I got kicked out of the house. I was like, I don't know where to go. I was like, and I just really need a shower. Just want to feel clean. I just need a fucking shower. And she was like, bitch, like I got 3 extra rooms. Just come fucking stay in my house. She lived in Reading, Pennsylvania, which is a little bit of a ghetto area, but it was a nice little row home. It had 3 fucking extra rooms, and it was me and her because the other roommate that like lived there and actually her parents owned this little row home was never home. So I was like, okay, well, cool. And like I even offered her, I was like, do you want me to pay rent? You know, and she's like, don't worry about it. I don't pay rent. You know, don't worry about it. So I got very lucky. I had had good people in my life that were willing to take me in, and you know, we only lived there for another like 3 months before I moved back to New Jersey, but you know what, I will owe her forever. That girl had my back when no one else fucking did, and I was very lucky. I was able to go somewhere. A lot of people do not have the luck that I did. I was very lucky by having a car. I was very lucky by having a job. But the point of this is, homelessness can happen to anyone like that. I went from having a home that Sunday morning to not having a home that Sunday night. This could happen to anybody, you know, be it getting kicked out of the house that you're living in, being it breaking up in a relationship, be it, you know, being your house gets on fire, anything. This can happen so easily to anyone, regardless if you have a job, if you don't have a job, any of that. So the fact that we treat our homeless people like we have blinders on and we don't see them is fucking bullshit. They're still fucking people and we need to take care of them. So something I try to do and something we do at the studio I work at, which is one of the many reasons I love this place that I work at, every so often we are, basically my mother-in-law works at a church and they have a food pantry. So every time that food pantry gets empty, we do a little contest at the studio where we will do, you know, whoever brings the most food gets a gift certificate for a tattoo. And I mean, last year we literally had the person that won it is someone who basically is not rolling in the dough herself, has been homeless a few times. Basically, they brought a ton of food. Like, they of course won because they brought the most amount of actual edible food, because we have lots of people who bring out like free samples of like, you know, Chex Mix and stuff, and like stuff that wouldn't do anything for anybody, but actual food that somebody would be able to bring with them and eat. And they had their car died, so instead of just, you know, saying, oh shit, can't do it, my car died, or asking for a ride, they hauled that shit on their bikes. They rode their bikes 3 miles with food on their back, on the sides, everywhere, to make sure that those people who are a little bit more unfortunate than they are were able to eat. And that is amazing. Amazing. Sorry, I'm doing my autoclave, so I have to keep checking to make sure that the alarm isn't going to go off in a few seconds, because that would be really annoying for this video. Anyway, so that was awesome. It's very nice to see people that aren't rolling the dough to support other people. It's sad that more people don't do that. So the point being, we run this contest to make sure the food pantry stays full. However, we had some extra stuff. We had some water and some peanut butter, and a lot of times people can't get to the food pantry because you need to, you know, if you're not living in the area, it's really hard to get up here. B, you have to have an ID, and IDs are expensive. If you don't have an ID already, you're not going to spend that $35 you have on an ID when you can spend that on food, you know? And like a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to help the homeless, you know, I don't want to give any money because they're going to spend it on drugs. They're going to do this. A part of me's like, I don't give a shit if they spend it on drugs. I'd prefer them not to. I'm not going to support their habit. I'm not going to drop them like $300 or anything. But if I give them 20 bucks and $10 that goes to a bag of dope so they're not sick, okay, you know, it's not my preferred choice, but it's not my life either. Anyway, especially since I've been there, so I'm like, you know, being sick is horrendous. So you gotta do what you gotta do. So I made a point to, there's a few homeless camps because Camden County does not want to believe that there's any homeless people in this area. So we actually, I went and got bottles of water. I went and got gallons of water so they can just keep refilling it. It's $1. The gallons of water are $1. So I was able to buy like 30 of them. Basically I got stuff like peanut butter, stuff that won't go bad, because peanut butter is a protein, it keeps you full and it won't go bad and it's easy to carry around. I got anything that won't spoil, like canned stuff. Canned stuff's a little weird because I don't always want to give people canned stuff, because if you give people canned stuff, if they have a can opener, they're fucked. So I'm trying to make sure that it's stuff that you can easily open, stuff that won't spoil fast, that kind of stuff. You know, even if it's just fucking bread. I mean, even though bread can go bad, give a little, you know, I made little packages of bread, things that you don't think of. Baby wipes. Baby wipes are so important. If you want to do this, if you want to do a little like packs for, because there's 3 homeless camps, so I did 3 little packs. And basically what I did is I made sure that, you know, there's peanut butter, there's water, there's, you know, little packs of like bread and stuff so everybody can sort of like share. And I know there's not gonna be a lot of people that are gonna share, but it is what it is. And tampons and pads, because you don't think about it, but think about, you know, let's think for a second. You're a girl and you're homeless, okay? It's already hard enough to get a shower and get any kind of care in general. And now you have your period. So now you're, you know, you have nowhere comfortable to lay. You don't have a heating pad. You don't have a fucking bed. And you don't even have something to take care of yourself. So you have what, like $6 that you can choose to, okay, am I gonna eat for the rest of this day? Or am I going to be able to buy like pads or tampons? So one of my coworkers just came in, so there might be a weird in the middle of that. But anyway, so basically, this is why I'm very passionate about homelessness, because I saw how fast it happened to me. It was so fast. Of course, I was very, very lucky. So back to the packages. If you actually want to do this, I think everyone should do this. There's homeless people in every area. Even if you don't think there's homeless people in your town, there's homeless people in your town. So I made these little packs. This was in the summer, so I made packs, and I made sure there was tampons and pads, and everybody had little packs of tampons and pads, you know, sanitary wipes, toilet paper, paper towels, Of course, food, you know, anything that's gonna have a lot of protein in it, because protein will keep you full. So like, that's what I'm saying, like peanut butter, that kind of stuff. Like, just look up things that have protein in it. And basically I went behind to the camps, and I wasn't going to go into the camps because a lot of people, like, you know, of course the stereotypes of, oh, there's always crazy people. Well, there are going to be crazy people. I mean, think about it. If you don't have insurance, no one is going to take care of you with your mental illness. Like, that's just reality. So if you are schizophrenic or even bipolar and you can't take medication, it's gonna be really hard for you to hold on a job. So of course you end up homeless. So when I went to the homeless camps, I didn't go back there because honestly, they also are, a lot of people are very territorial. My wife actually was like straight on homeless, like lived under the boardwalk for a long, long time. So I've learned a lot about like that homelessness in general from there, because again, I was lucky I had a car. So I didn't go back there. I wasn't going to interrupt their space. I wasn't going to jump into their shit, but I did go back to the beginning of it, and I dropped off my packs. Dropped off my packs. Now this winter, I wanted to drop off sleeping bags and blankets and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and it really went nowhere, and I wasn't really able to afford to get what I wanted. So I'm gonna start doing now is trying to grab, like, go to thrift stores and grab as many blankets, because right now it's crazy with things like thrift stores, like especially Goodwill. Like, fuck Goodwill. Stay the hell away from Goodwill, because they don't give a shit about homeless people. Goodwill is just there to make money. They do not make things cheaper, nothing like that. Salvation Army makes things cheaper. Even if you're homeless and you go to Salvation Army and say, hey, I have no clothes, they usually give out free clothes. You know what I mean? They actually are there to help people. So that's a nice thing, at least. So go to your local thrift shop. Go to Salvation Army. Fuck Goodwill. Goodwill's not going to help you. And grab as many blankets. Right now, because it's summer, you're going to be able to find, well, because it's getting warmer, you're going to find a lot of blankets. A lot of things is people sleeping on the ground will actually steal their body heat. So lots of blankets, lots of warm clothes will always help anyone. And of course, I'm gonna make it easy to carry around. So of course, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm now trying to, you know, hopefully get a lot more stuff in the back, if you will, like start going to thrift stores now, so I'll be able to do these packs again. Because in the middle of summer, I wanna make sure I can hand out these big bottles of water, because you know what, guys, when it comes down to it, what you are putting out in the world is what's going to come back to you. And I don't want anyone to have to live in the fucking woods with no food and nothing and no one caring about them. I want people to realize that we all care about you. You know, even if there are assholes in the world who are like, oh, fuck the homeless, they do it to themselves. That's not true, okay? There are people, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, the whole like 10% of people that like decide they want to live off the grid, that does happen, but it's not very common. Sometimes just people who get in a fucked up situation, be it drugs, be it mental illness, or be it just losing a fucking job. So I don't understand when we treat these people like they're not real fucking people, because they're real people. So that's my little 2 cents on that. You know, love everybody, guys. Treat everybody with respect. Feed them, you know. We're all people. Let's all treat everybody like people. Bye, guys.